Ronald Hicks. We'll first have some introductory remarks from Cardinal Dolan, and then you'll hear from Archbishop Hicks, and then we'll open it up for some questions and answers. So thank you very much for being here. Your Eminence.
Folks, good morning, a blessed Advent, a blessed nearby Christmas. You are always welcome at America's Parish Church. You know that. So thank you for being here today. Almost 17 years ago, I was the one being introduced. And it was a great privilege for me that my first stop was to meet with the press of New York City, because it's through you that we're able to communicate to our people and get the word out. So thank you for being here this morning. St. Nicholas has left us an early Christmas gift in the appointment by Pope Leo XIV of our new Archbishop Ronald Hicks. He is currently the Bishop of Joliet in Illinois. He was a priest of the Archdiocese of Chicago. He's been in an array and abundance of priestly ministry, from parish work to Catholic schools, seminary work, diocesan administration, because he was Vicar General of the vast Archdiocese of Chicago, which is the third largest archdiocese in the country after New York. You knew that, all right? So, and then he was 5 years of missionary work in El Salvador, right? So he's, and for the last 5 years, you've been Bishop of Joliet, immensely qualified. So you are probably going to wonder if I knew him. I don't, but I'll tell you this, the last week since I found out, I've gotten to know him, and I already love him and appreciate him and trust him. Is there sadness in my heart? Sure, because I love the Archdiocese of New York. That sadness is mitigated by the gift that this new Archbishop already is. So it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Archbishop-designate Ronald Hicks.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you. Cardinal Dolan, thank you for that introduction. Good morning, everyone, and peace be with all of you. I just wanted to begin by saying thank you for being here. My name is Ron Hicks, and I have visited New York about 10 times in my life. And every time I have visited, I have said to myself, I love it. I love the culture, the food, the energy, the plays, the neighborhoods, but especially I love the people. I love the people from all over the world who call this place home. And every time that I've visited, I've always said, I look forward to returning. And this time I'm returning not only as a visitor, but I'm going to be returning to stay. So I would just like to share a couple more things about myself. My parents, Ron and Rosalie Hicks, are retired high school teachers, and they raised my brother and I in the south suburbs of Chicago in South Holland, Illinois, which is right next door to Dalton, Illinois. Now, South Holland and Dalton might not mean anything to you, but Dalton is where our Holy Father, Pope Leo XIV, grew up and is from. And our houses are literally 14 blocks away from each other. So I would like to simply begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to Pope Leo XIV for this appointment. And I'm getting used to the microphone system here also. But I want to thank him for my appointment here. As someone who has dedicated a portion of my priesthood to serving in Latin America, I have a deep affinity with the Holy Father and a tremendous respect and confidence in his leadership. I'm also grateful to Cardinal Christophe Pierre, our Apostolic Nuncio, for his trust that he's placed in me. When he called me to share the appointment, I told him that simply, I want to do the will of God. I asked him to tell the Holy Father, that I say yes with great humility, and that I accept this appointment with an open heart. In my 31 years of priesthood, I was formed in Chicago, in the Archdiocese of Chicago, under the care of Cardinal Bernardine, through the witness of Cardinal George, and by the mentorship of Cardinal Supich. For all of them, I'm deeply grateful. Now, let me begin with potentially my first controversial statement. I'm a Cubs fan, and I love deep dish pizza. That said, I want you to know that I am going to remain a loyal Cubs fan. However, I am going to start rooting for the New York sports teams, and I already love your pizza. I love it a lot. I've spent the last 5 years of my priesthood serving as the bishop of the Diocese of Joliet in Illinois. It's a wonderful diocese, and I'm going to miss the clergy, the religious, and the laity there. I've oftentimes told them, because of them, during my 5 years, I have felt happy, grateful, and blessed to be their bishop. Together, we have worked with some missionary zeal to catechize, to evangelize, and to put our faith into action as disciples who make disciples. I also want to take this moment right now to express my deep gratitude to Cardinal Timothy Dolan.
You're welcome.
For his extraordinary dedication and leadership in the Archdiocese of New York. I'm profoundly grateful for the many ways that he has shepherded the Archdiocese of New York and for the kindness that he's already shown me. I've been deeply touched by his graciousness and his generous expression of support of me. In a truly magnanimous spirit, he said to me, "Ron, I want you to do well here, and you have all my support." New York is rich in energy, languages, cultures, and people. As excited as I am to get to know the city and the Archdiocese and all who call this home, I'm also very aware that these are complex and challenging days, especially as we face issues of life, faith, justice, peace, and healing. Still, I feel the hope that so many to our shores had that came through this very harbor here in New York, including my own family. I am committed to working with the great variety and diversity of faith leaders and civic leaders to keep that hope alive and to make real the promise of the golden door by acting in mutual respect and working to uphold human dignity. I'm committed to learning about the issues before our church, including the funds the Archdiocese has set aside to help resolve sexual abuse claims. As a church, we can never rest in our efforts to prevent abuse, to protect children, and to care for survivors. While this work is challenging, it's difficult, it's painful, I hope it will continue to help in the areas of accountability, transparency, and healing. I very much look forward to working closely and collaboratively with the priests, the deacons, the religious, the lay leaders of this Archdiocese, and I look forward to getting to know you and them, and you and them getting to know me. Together, I hope that we can listen, discern, pray, and serve faithfully as we move forward in hope. También quiero que ustedes sepan que tienen un obispo que no solo habla español, sino también tengo un corazón enorme para la cultura latina y la gente hispana. Yo pasé un año trabajando y viviendo como un voluntario en México. Pasé 5 años trabajando en Centroamérica, viviendo en el país de El Salvador. Y también yo tengo 2 sobrinos de Colombia, tengo compadres puertorriqueños y tengo muchos amigos que vienen de la República Dominicana. Yo quiero caminar con todos ustedes así, juntos como hermanos y hermanas. And I realize I've been watching the news feeds and the social media a little bit. I haven't dove a lot into everything that's being said. But I realize there's a lot of people out there who right now are trying to figure out, who is he? What does he stand for? And if you want to know the core of who I am and what I stand for, you should know this. I love Jesus with my mind, heart, and soul, and I strive to love my neighbor as myself. My desire is to be obedient to the Holy Spirit and to do the will of God, serving with a shepherd's heart. I trust and I surrender my life and my will to God, and with great humility, I accept this appointment. I ask for your prayers. I ask for your support as we take these next steps together. And with great gratitude, I ask God to bless us today and always. Thank you, and thank you.
Well done. You're off to a great start.
Thank you.
Have time for a few questions. When you do ask your question, for everybody's sake, if you could identify yourself and the outlet you're from, be greatly appreciated. Stephen?
Stephen Schreiner, the newsroom. Your Excellency, welcome.
Thank you.
Your Eminence, you were in this spot.
I did get the advice, and I appreciate it, that New York is a warm, welcoming city. They will love you. You will come to love them. That worked. And I love New York. I love this archdiocese. I've enjoyed working with all of you. That was advice given to me to try to do that. I took it, and I'm grateful that I did, and I eagerly pass it on to my beloved successor. Thank you. So.
Good morning. Yeah, the question is, how well do I know Pope Leo? Before he became Pope, I had the opportunity to meet him in Chicago. Actually, last year in August, he spoke at one of my parishes in my diocese, gave a wonderful talk. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's from St. Jude in New Lenox. I was sitting there in the front row, and his talk was very clear and concise and just well done about a number of topics. And afterwards, he said, "Can I just get 5 minutes with you?" And that 5 minutes turned into about 20 minutes. And that's been my connection to him now as bishops. We spoke about a number of topics. I found him to be extremely relatable. And I do also like the fact that we grew up in the same area. We would have played baseball in the same parks, gone swimming in the same kind of public pool, and we even share a famous pizza place that's our favorite. So there's many things that connect with him, and but I respect his leadership, and I look forward to his guidance as we take these next steps.
Javi Acevedo with WNBC, congratulations on this designation, and Cardinal Dolan, thank you for everything and for for always being a guide. I guess one question for each cardinal: did you feel that you accomplished what you set out to do when you started 60 years ago, and later for the Archbishop designate? If you could also share in English and Spanish that connection with Latin American population, if the issues are sort of the same in the Diocese of Joliet as in New York, as we look at the current status of the Latin American immigrants.
Thanks for asking. You asked me if I feel I've accomplished what I set out to do. No. And that ain't bad, because there's always a lot left to do, and I'm glad he's here to do it. Am I grateful for the things I was able to accomplish with God's grace, His mercy when I failed, as I often did, and with the support of priests, my brother bishops who are here today, my auxiliary bishops, our clergy, our religious women, and the great laity, and Archbishop designate, the wonderful community, the Jewish community, the community that may not share our Catholic faith but want the church to succeed, with the political community, with the business community. They're all behind you. And this is a great city, and you're going to love it. So thanks for asking.
And I also appreciate the question you had about people from Latin America and this part of the church here. You noticed in my remarks, I took a moment to speak in Spanish. And what I said in Spanish is that we have a bishop. I speak Spanish, but it's more than that. I was really formed by the Latino church, and I have a great heart for the Latino community. And so we have someone who not only speaks Spanish, but understands that this community is a vital part of the church. And I think what you're going to see in me is that I love all people. I like your remark that New York is made up of not only the Catholics from all different ethnic groups, which I love and I relate to. My ethnic background, I'm kind of your few generations out American. I'm a combination of Irish and German and Polish, and but I've spent a lot of time living in Latin America, in Mexico, and in El Salvador, and working all throughout Central America. So as everyone comes together to make up this church, including the Hispanic population that I love so much, I'm just looking forward to doing it in a spirit of great collaboration, of some unity, some love. And my last remark, there's a beautiful song in Spanish. I look forward to walking together as brothers and sisters. Sure. The question was talking about immigrations, things connected to ICE, and some of my feelings about all that. I'm proud of the statement that the USCCB, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, recently put out about immigration and about the necessity to make sure we have a country that does protect our borders and we keep our laws. That's right. And also be a country that upholds human dignity, respect, treating each other well, and making sure that anything connected to these policies are connected to due process, and again, with a great deal of respect for humanity, our brothers and sisters, how we see each other, how we relate to each other, all in that context of human dignity.
I don't know. I mean, I presume the major message that the successor of St. Peter wants to give in the appointment of any bishop, including Archbishop Designate Hicks, is that this is a man who models his life on Jesus, the Good Shepherd. And he's going to love and take care of his people. He's going to preach the truth with love. And I think, Tony, that's probably the major criterion that he has. And I'll tell you this, after a week, I'd say to the Holy Father, bingo, you did well, because that's a good description of this guy.
No, thank you for that. And it's I trust highly in the Holy Spirit who's leading and guiding our Holy Father, and that he too wants to do the will of God, and we cooperate with that. And is he trying to send a message? I'm not sure, but I'm here to serve. I'm here to be obedient and loyal. And what I've seen in him, I highly respect. I love his focus on keeping the mission of the church at the center. I love his apostolic exhortation, the first writings he put out on the poor and our need to really be a church that accompanies the poor, the marginalized, and everyone together. So it's, I think there's just a great affinity that we have. And I can't get into his mind actually as to why he chose me. But if that's what he's asked, I'm happy to say yes. Sure.
You had a major initiative called PRIEN Catholics.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that question. I just released a pastoral letter in October, and it's called Make. And it comes from the gospel where Jesus tells his disciples, and he tells us, go out and make disciples. And it's an effort of evangelization. I want a church that is thriving, that is growing, that's alive, that's relevant, and we do it all in the name of Jesus. It's worth belonging to, it's life-changing, and we've had some great energy with it. Back in the Diocese of Joliet, I want them to continue in that movement forward, and I want to keep some of those things that I've been so passionate about catechizing, about evangelizing, about putting faith into action. Another way of saying it is I want people to grow in their faith. I want them to grow in what they know about God and the church, how they love God, and then how they serve others, how they put that faith into action, and that we do it together. Thank you. Yeah. Great.
And how do you feel, how do you anticipate your working relationship with him?
You asked a very good question of how do I relate to the other bishops around New York, and if I know the Bishop of Brooklyn. Yes, we've met. I'm that type of bishop. I've been a bishop now for 7 years, and at all of our conferences, anytime we're together, I'm the type who, if we're in the lunch line, I stick out my hand, I say, hi, I'm Ron Hicks, who are you? And I like getting to know them and collaborating with them, and I enjoy people, and I enjoy my brother bishops. So as I get to know this portion of the country better, I look forward to getting to know him, all my brothers here, and doing it just in a great spirit of collaboration and unity.
Very much, everyone. Appreciate it. We have a very busy day. As you may have seen on the schedule, Archbishop Designate Hicks and Cardinal Dolan will concelebrate Mass here at 2 o'clock this afternoon for the employees at the Catholic Center, our annual Christmas Mass. That Mass will be live streamed at stpatrickscathedral.org/live, and of course you're welcome to attend that Mass as well. Thank you very much.
Voilà, Madame, Monsieur, c'est donc la présentation du nouveau bishop de New York, archibishop de l'État de New York, décision prise par le pape Léon, qui lui-même remplacé dans position ça, Monsieur Ronald Dillon, qui était lui-même responsable. Donc, il a invité monsieur là, il a welcome du côté de New York dans position que lui occupé ensemble, pasteur, prêtre de l'Église catholique du côté de New York, la communauté évangélique inclut les Juifs, il même tout, il welcome nouveau archibishop là, on a parlé de Monsieur X Ronald qui gagnait honneur pour lui représenter l'État de New York. Un résumé pour rapide. Déclaration que deux autorités ecclésiastiques ça a fait. Quant à Timothy Dolan qui sorti dans position ça, monsieur fait comprendre que les content pour décision que pape la prend pour lui mettre prêtre Ronald dans position que lui occupé je veux dire comme archibishop de New York. Lui passé 17 ans dans l'état la travail. Eh bien 17 ans de ça c'est lui-même qui a été présenté je dis en lui fier, lui content pour le présenter collègue qui gagnait responsabilité ça c'est cadeau que Saint-Nicolas a réservé pour eux. Li a pu continuer travail et li remercier parents qui te yo même permettre que li te travail dans sens ça archibishop Landy li triste pour li aller même c'est ça travail la demander faudrait-il que gen qui capable venir remplacer. Quant à nouveau prêtre archibishop New York là, monsieur dit, il visiter ville ça en 10 occasions et il était tombé et dans mon lit, il était remis en pile. Monsieur dit chaque fois là, il est content retourner. D'ailleurs, il remet pizza qui gagnait dans la cour New York. Monsieur dit, il levé dans la cour Chicago 14 blocs à côté que Pape Léon lui-même il a fonctionné. Si bien content pour lui, il était qu'on jouer baseball dans même parc, il bien dans même piscine dans la cour Chicago. Je dis, il est bien content que Pape là fait décision pour lui choisir pour venir diriger l'État de New York dans l'église catholique là. Monsieur dit, il est toujours content pour lui travailler avec l'autre bishop yo. Et que les content également lorsque Christophe Pierre Cardinal là il était désigné et que il pas répondre l'autre question puisque c'est volonté mettre là et bien lui même tout li d'accord 31 années que il passé l'a servi côté que ils sont serviteurs monsieur dit il voyager dans pays Mexique côté qu'il passé une année il voyager et dans central pays central américain dans centre américain dans le continent que le voyager et pendant 5 ans il fait la voyager la peut diriger la travail li également rivé dans le pays El Salvador côté que li gagné en pile monde les amis li souhaité Kenya yo tout que le travail ensemble avec eux et li souhaité yo content et puis la Colombie côté qu'elle voit les visiter li en pile amis également li remercier tous les amis que li gagne dans la cour République dominicaine. Et gen moun ka posé question je dis qui est-ce que lié qui ça que vient faire monsieur dit li remet mon Dieu il remet Jésus-Christ la travail même gens que les mêmes voisins yo mais ils sont qui remettent li en pile la travail pour Christ c'est mission ça la fait dans humilité dans respect une pour l'autre li réclamer prière communautaire support yo et puis compréhension yo également monsieur dit n'a travail pour que nous capables faire disciples pour Christ, c'est mission ça que nous gagnons. Première déclaration qui ont été en controversé que m'a fait, c'est nouveau archibishop là qui a parlé, n'a parlé de monsieur Ronald Hicks, monsieur dit comme ça, qui te me dit nous, nous sommes fans équipe Cubs là qui sorti dans la cour Chicago et m'a prêté, yon fervent fan équipe si là fanatique li. Cependant, m'a commencé à partir de Kounia là même que supporter équipe New York yo, m'a connaît au plus bien mais qui te me dit non, moi même pizza New York yo en pile oui parce que moi manger déjà mais m'a prêté comme moi se dit non, un fanatique fervent fanatique équipe Cubs là. Eh bien, il dit comme ça, il gagne pour congratuler et archibishop New York là, alors cardinal là, n'a parlé de Timothy, il dit que l'état de New York, son ville, son état qui gagne en pile énergie, moun là il y aurait mis ça et il y aurait même moun également. C'est ça que fait New York, il y aurait les New York la caillou. Face à un série de problèmes qui gagne je dis qui concerne le mode de vie nous, monsieur dit, il prend disposition du comité pour le travail avec l'autre leader dans la communauté en respect une pour l'autre gens ça te fait surtout li apprécier en pile communauté juive là pour travail que même yo fait même si yo pas partager même foi avec catholique mais yo vle ouais succès l'église catholique là il dit je dis n'a pas travail pour que surtout si moun qui kon maltraité exploité en dedans l'église catholique, surtout exploitation sexuelle, il fait sous timoun, bagay ça, nous pas tolérer, nous pas jouer ensemble avec lui. C'est pour yo kembe et malveillant yo, mener devant tribunal même, et puis pour justice bail à moun qui méritait justice. Et c'est pour nous travailler tout, pour nous traiter si la aucun malade qui affecté, maladie, c'est parce que yo affecté par Zach Malheur qui fait sur, monsieur dit, c'est pour nous travailler, pour nous guérir, moun si la yo. Monsieur Timothy Dolan, il déclare bon côté parle, les journalistes commencent à poser des questions. Est-ce qu'elle est satisfait du travail qu'elle fait? Monsieur dit non, absolument pas. Toujours gagner un pile travail pour nous faire, rester encore et a toujours gagné un travail pour nous faire. Donc, on n'est pas capable de satisfaire. Cependant, je remercie et féliciter et nouveau responsable là qui lui-même, et moi partager et Sandra dit soutien que la communauté juive là li baille à l'église catholique pour le capable faire succès, même si nous pas partager même fois. Nouveau archbishop l'a déclaré, non seulement li parle espagnol, mais li comprend culture là, comprendre culture communauté spanish non, c'est pour ça lui-même li compter travail ensemble avec eux et li prend très au sérieux culture et pays espagnol yo, monde qui parle espagnol yo. Nécessité pour que nous travaillions ensemble, je ne dis gagner une grande population et nous devons mettre tête nous ensemble pour nous travailler non climat côté que nous comprendre décision que autorité prend pour gagner sécurité sous frontière, sécurité en des pays. Cependant, il doit faire tout dans le respect de la personne humaine, il doit faire la sensibilité, la compréhension vis-à-vis l'autre monde. Cardinal Timothy Dolan, lui-même bon côté pas lui déclaré, pape là, il te prend une très bonne décision lorsque il était choisi et là, monsieur X Ronald pour que il vienne archbishop de l'État de New York. Qui te me dit nous nouveau archbishop la cap parler. Moi mais en pile focus que pape là li gagné dans ça qui concerne travail là et pour le kembe l'église là dans tête collée dans unité dans un plan ensemble. Bishop X il déclaré que mission principale c'est faire disciple pour Christ et il content pour le faire ça, la travail dans ce sens ça. Après il gagne 7 ans la travail comme bishop, je dis il vient archbishop New York, donc il dit tout le monde il pas un nouveau, il pas un novice, il pas un blé non travail ici là. Donc monsieur étalé d'ailleurs, ils font petit temps la parler parole pour montrer mon que il est capable d'exprimer convenablement mais vraiment très bien dans une parole qui est claire hein? Et monsieur dit ça il y a un pile amis en République dominicaine d'ailleurs, il passe Mexique, il passe dans bon pays Amérique centrale, il fait tant dans pays Salvador, c'est ça qu'il faut arriver à comprendre. Je nomme li exprimer convenablement en espagnol, même gens que il t'a parlé anglais dans première intervention et il a annoncé activité pour célébrer fête Christmas à 2h, il va gagner un service dans la cour New York, il a invité population comme nous dit monsieur Vendé pour prier pour lui pour travailler que les gagnants pour le faire. Merci mes amis, c'est un plaisir pour nous être ensemble avec vous. Vous connaissez ça déjà. Information c'est non-stop lié sur les réseaux Pstars, radio et télévision. Depuis nouvelle là, li tombé, nous porter le baou et depuis l'importante. Et puis ça qui fait ensuite, n'a pas suivi ça qui fait la une de l'actualité ça qui en bas paille, n'a cherché pour nous porter baou. Moi, c'est John Smith, Dominique PRIEN, qui était avec Economico pour te détailler l'intervention. C'est là. Nous remercions. Bonne journée, pas trop loin, non. Madame Massin pour le venir pour le partager avec vous. Pstars.